Hey, Danny. Have you been getting bullied by that mother-in-law of yours again? I heard about it from Mom, but that's too crazy, right? I never thought that she'd start to even call Mom and Dad's house like that. I'm sorry, she must be causing all kinds of trouble for you both now, too. She really is. Because you can't seem to make any children, she's now started to call us all the time and complain about you. Mom was crying her eyes out after that last call with her. She was telling Mom that her daughter was never raised correctly and that you are nothing more than a faulty product now. My husband and I not having luck making kids in my family have nothing to do with one another. That right there is taking things a bit too far. But hey, your in-laws getting that upset about you right now is something that can't be helped. You've been married to their son for 5 years now, right? Yet for some reason you guys have still not had any kids at all. If anything, I'm starting to feel bad for the rest of the family now. What? How about you give me a try with your husband, Mike? Unlike you, I'm still very young and healthy. I'm sure I'd be able to get pregnant on the first try with him. Then not only would Mike and his mother be happy, but so would the rest of our family. Would you stop talking about that? That's not even funny if you meant it as a joke. Handing over my husband to my little sister? What? I was actually being quite serious about that, though. What did you say? I mean, your husband is a really good-looking man, right? And when it comes to his family, they're realtors who all have a lot of land and money right now. I would love to be like you, turning into a housewife that doesn't have to do anything besides enjoy herself with all that money. I haven't been enjoying myself here, though. Mike has told me that because I can't seem to get pregnant at all, he's no longer giving me any more money. Right now, he's not paying for anything of mine at all, so I've had to start using up a lot of my savings. And on top of that, I'm having to talk with my mother-in-law at least once per day, listening to her screaming at me. Wow. It's like you're actually having to go through hell right now. Then wouldn't it be best for you to give me Mike right now? I'm much more likely than you to get pregnant, and if that's not selling my point here, I'm also cuter than you. I might seriously go out and steal him from you right now if you're not thinking about handing him over. Excuse me? I'm at that point now where I'm going around looking for a man of my own to marry now. But so far I haven't found the type that I'd like to settle down with for the rest of my life. Actually, the only one who's my type so far is Mike. Your type? Mike is your older sister's husband, though, Kelly. That doesn't mean anything to me. If I were to actually try with him, it would only take me a second to win him over and into my arms. But having to watch your husband leave you for your little sister is rough, right? That's why I think it would be best for you to ask for a divorce right now before that has to happen. Huh? That's me being kind to you as your little sister. It's not like you're ever going to bear any children for him, right? I think a useless woman like yourself, who can't even do her biological job, should just get lost. And then let me have the seat next to him as his wife. I can't believe you're saying things like that to your older sister right now. Right now, I'm not in the mood to even talk with you anymore. For the time being, leave all of this be and leave me alone.
Hey, Danny. Rejoice! I went and got the divorce paperwork from the courthouse. I'm freeing myself from you now, so make sure you sign those pronto.
What?
I'm coming home right now. You get your best pen ready to sign these for me. When I'm home, you just sign away until I say stop.
Hold on a second, Mike. Why are you wanting to get a divorce now like this?
Because it's been so long now. Yet you still have not gotten pregnant after all the attempts I've made? It's been 5 years and you still haven't given me a child. After taking a second to really think about things, I came to the conclusion that I need to get rid of you.
No way.
And let me just say this divorce is for your sake. So go ahead and thank me for all this.
What did you say?
I had no other choice but to do this because I felt so bad for you. Because you haven't been able to get anywhere in terms of making a kid, you've had to be blamed by everyone in my family. Seeing the woman I love being made fun of and picked on by everyone has really started to get to me. I don't want to see it anymore. That is why I'm getting this divorce for you. This is a divorce bound in love. That is coming from my soft and caring heart.
What What the hell has gotten into you, Mike? Did you slip and hit your head on something today? You have never been that kind of a person with me before, right?
Excuse me?
Out of all the times your mom has come and picked on me, not once did you step in to help me out. If anything, you were always joining in with her to help make fun of me and make me feel terrible. You would call me useless and garbage for not getting pregnant, and that's why you stopped ever paying for any of my needs? It's a bit strange that you'd want to be getting a divorce now for my sake of all things. Something is really fishy here, Mike.
What about all this is fishy to you? It couldn't be helped that my parents made fun of you and I had to join them. They were both upset of you because they worried about me. It'll be completely screwed up for me to get upset with them for caring about me, right?
Hold on. Whatever happened to you protecting your wife as the husband?
Also, when it came to the money, I did that for your sake as well. I was trying to make it look like you could take care of your own costs, alright? And that way, my mom might have thought twice about you before getting upset again, right? I stopped paying for all your needs in order to make you look like a good wife.
Huh?
To me, you have been the most loving woman I've ever been with. But that's the reason why I want to become free of you. Me allowing you to get away from my angry parents is my way of showing my love for you.
Okay then. If you're saying something like that about this, then I can understand. You and I can get a divorce now.
Seriously?
But could you give me a bit more time to get myself ready to leave? I want to take a day or two to make sure that you haven't been cheating on me or anything.
What? Why would you want to look into something like that? I would never cheat on you, would I? The only woman I've ever loved is you, Danny.
That's what I'd love to think, but I'm not believing that anymore. After all the times I'd been picked on by your mom and dad, yet was never protected by you? After all those times you joined them in laughing and making fun of me? And after all those times you would never come with me to the doctors to try and work on fixing this whole issue we've been having? You becoming all kind towards me like this? Something does not sit right with me at all, and I will not trust you just yet. I think there might be another reason, the real reason, behind why you're pushing for a divorce from me now of all times.
Excuse me?
Are you sure you're not with another woman right now? And you're wanting to be with her now, hence the sudden desire for a divorce from me? Perhaps that's why you're getting a bit worked up now? You don't want me to find out about you cheating on me this whole time, or else this divorce will become more of a pain in the ass for you, right? You've been wanting to get this divorce as quickly as possible so that you could walk away with all your money.
Do I really look like the kind of man with all those kind of schemes? I get that things are a bit stressful for you right now, but I have always loved you and not anybody else.
Well, if you really haven't been cheating on me, then me taking a look into it shouldn't be a problem for you at all, right? All you have to do is sit back and wait for me to be ready. Yet for some reason, you really are breaking a sweat right now over this. Why is that, Mike?
I'm not breaking a sweat over any of this.
If you're really as kind as you're saying you've been, then you'll understand why I'm wanting to do this, right? You'll allow me to look into things until I'm satisfied with the answer, right? Now, I'm off to start looking into all of this to find an answer that I'm satisfied with, so give me some time, please. After that, we can get the divorce. Going out of your way to look into what Mike's been up to is so annoying. Just hurry the hell up and sign those divorce papers already. You've always been such a troublesome woman for Mike, and that's the exact reason he's abandoning you, dumbass. Coming at me like that for no reason at all is a bit of a shock. What exactly do you want to say to me? You were told yesterday that you'd be getting a divorce from Mike, right? But in the end, you started to suspect that he's been cheating on you with someone else, right? Well, your gut was right. He has been with another woman, and that woman just so happens to be me. How's that? Are you happy with this answer now? I kind of figured that would be the outcome, but coming out with all that before I even got down to investigating him? I had to, because you're being such a pain in the ass, all right? I knew that you'd figure it out soon enough, so it was just quicker to tell you the truth and move on with it. It's best for us to just pay you a settlement so that we can get moving with our marriage. I suppose you're right. Telling me like that actually helps me out a lot as well. But could you please tell me why you started to go out with my husband behind my back like that? He is your older sister's husband, of all people. I told you before, right? I want to become the wife of a rich man and have a life filled with money. And that requires me to have a man that can make that happen for me. Well, aren't there plenty of other rich men in this city you could go out with? I mean, we're living in LA, so it's not that hard to find men with loads of money. But when it comes to men with money, they're usually all married, right? I don't mind taking them away from their wives, but having to deal with the aftermath is always a pain. I wanted to avoid all of that, hence the idea I had. If I were to steal one of my family members' husbands from them, they wouldn't get as upset with me, right? Huh? And then when it comes to you and Mike, your relationship has gone sour over you not being able to provide his family with a kid. Actually, there are so many people who will be happy over me taking him from you. So you used that kind of a BS excuse to steal my husband away from me? I opened up about what's been going on here, so hurry up and get that divorce from him now. Right now, I have his child in my belly, so I need to hurry up and get married with him before said baby comes out. What did you just say? Kelly, you're pregnant right now? Keep this a secret from Mike, all right? I want to surprise him, so please don't tell him or anyone else. Are you really pregnant right now? There has to be some kind of a mistake there, Kelly. There's no way that's the case, right? I made sure to go to the doctor's office and have them test and confirm it for me. And if you still don't believe me, I have the paperwork from that visit, which I can show you. No way. I knew that younger women always got pregnant quicker and more effectively than you old hags. I'm so much better than you are. I see. Then I suppose I really do need to get this divorce now. Kids have to have their parents around, after all. You really tried your hardest to get pregnant, but never ever could, right? I'm so sorry that I went and got pregnant with my brother-in-law like that. But once I have this baby of ours, you're still going to come out to spoil them as their aunt, right? Sure, and congratulations. Oh, you're trying to act all tough now is hilarious. Especially when I know you're not happy about any of this one bit. Now, please get that divorce right now for me. Thank you for getting that divorce from Mike so quickly for me. Because of that, he and I were able to hand in the marriage papers just a second ago. And with that, starting today, I am Mike's wife. I am the wife of a well-off man who will provide everything for me. Congrats, Kelly. Your dream of having to do nothing at all and live in luxury has come true. And the baby inside me is doing great as well. I'll make sure to show you them first when they're born. Mike's and my angelic little baby. I'm really pleased that you would do that for me, but you really don't have to show that baby to me. I really don't want to see the baby you had with some random man from who knows where. Huh? Also, there's one other thing I wanted to congratulate you on. Congrats on getting another man to take care of your kid for you. What? Are you going to talk with Mike before you have that baby? Or do you plan to hide all of that from him forever? Well, whichever one you choose, you'll be living in hell either way. Wait a second, Danny. What the hell are you going on about right now? Why would you say something as rude as that to a soon-to-be mother like me? I'm not using Mike to be my child's father. Mike is the father of this baby. But how else did you end up getting pregnant then if it wasn't with another man? He has a sperm cell count of 0, so there is no possible way you could have gotten pregnant because of him. Huh? He has a sperm cell count of 0? What? You're telling me that Mike, he can't make babies? Yes, that's right. I had a doctor go ahead and take a look at him the last time we went together. And the doctor found out that he literally has nothing in his junk. That was pretty much the doctor saying to him that there was no way he'd ever be able to have kids of his own. Well, there was one way, but that required Mike to have to go through some treatments to help boost his sperm cell count. Huh? You're lying to me, right? There's no way he's infertile. Because right now, I'm pregnant with his baby. There's no way this baby could be another man's. Oh? So you have an idea now of who that baby's real father might be? No. Wait. This all has to be a joke, right? A lie. Because even if I do remember someone, it was only a one-night stand of all things. I just ran into a friend of mine from back in high school was all. For that to have gotten me pregnant with this baby I'm carrying now? I guess you being young does mean you can get pregnant relatively easily. Just like you were telling me before, right? No way, wait. There's no way this could be happening right now. There's no way that old friend of mine could ever be a good father to any kids. Well, trying to force a man that can never have kids to become a father is far worse, right? But right now that old friend doesn't have a job. In the past, he was this really hot-looking guy that I loved so much, but all he ever did was join a band that isn't doing so well, and he's turned out into this not-so-good-looking guy. There's no way I could be having a kid with a man like that. I just became the wife of a rich man as well. Being pregnant with the child of another man right after you just got married makes me feel pretty sorry for Mike now. Wait a second, Danny. If you knew that he was never going to be able to get me pregnant, why did you wait until right now to tell me that? Something as important as that should have been told to me the moment I started talking to you about Mike. Oh, but that would have been so boring. What? You really thought that I'd just let the two bozos that stabbed me in the back run off and have a lovely marriage together? Absolutely not, Kelly. That's why I didn't say anything else to you. Him being infertile should have been something you knew ahead of getting married to him. But Mike would have never been able to tell you that, though, because I never told him what that doctor told me. What? So not even Mike knows that he's infertile right now? He never wanted to talk about working with me to fix not being able to have a baby, and it took me a year to finally get him in to see a doctor. Considering how perfect he thinks that he is, even if I'd told him about his 0 sperm cell count, he would have never believed me. If anything, he would have gotten upset with me over that. And that's why I never told him anything. No way. And when it came to his parents, the both of them would often tell me that it's embarrassing to go out and get help for being infertile. They would give me all these absurd reasons as to why it was embarrassing, and then would never let me talk about it with them at all. If there was no way his parents would let either one of us get treatments for it, what's the point of telling Mike that he's the infertile one? I was told by the doctor that based on the condition of Mike's testicles, the only way he would be able to impregnate me is with some medical intervention. I'm sure that's probably the case, but for this to... What should I be doing about this right now? I just told Mike about how I'm pregnant with his baby a little bit ago. Oh my, oh my. I was waiting until after we got married to surprise him about it, and in my excitement, I told him everything. Oh, why would this happen to me? I can't go telling him now that he's not actually the baby's father at a time like this. Then why not try keeping that a secret from him for the rest of the time? Oh, because that's not happening, because I won't allow it to. What? After having gotten the divorce, I'm no longer afraid of him or his parents anymore. I think I'm going to tell him about how his balls don't work at all right now. What? You're lying. Wait a second. Don't you dare do that. Then choose, Kelly. Would you rather I go and tell him, or you go and explain to him what's happened here? I'll give you a few minutes to decide and send me your answer. Now I'll be off.
This is the freaking worst! To think she'd go out and get pregnant with another man's baby like that. Why the hell do I have to listen to this on the day we got married to one another? What the hell is even happening here? There's no way this could be true.
Wow, she opened up to you about that a lot sooner than I thought she would.
I can't even wrap my head around this. I was so excited to finally be having a baby with her, but then she came to me saying crap like that. What the hell does she mean that the baby inside her isn't mine? And what the hell does she mean by me not having any sperm cells?
If you want to know how that doctor's appointment went, I sent the details to your email. Make sure to take a very close look at all the results.
I'm not screwing around. Why the hell were you keeping such vital information away from me? Why would you bring that up after I got remarried? And right after I was told I was going to have my first baby with Kelly?
This is called my revenge, Mike.
What?
I don't know how many times I asked for you to get help with me so that we could have a baby together, but you always said no. And I don't know how many times I had to be bullied by your mom and dad about it without you ever stepping in to help me. When the doctor came back and told me the results of that test he did on you, I found out that this was never my fault. At that moment, something inside me flipped and I was no longer feeling bad for myself. And from that moment on, I knew that I could use this news about your disability as a trump card against you. I wanted to use it at a time where I could watch you fall apart the hardest.
No way!
And just as I was hoping for, you've really fallen apart after the news hit you.
I've not just fallen apart. Why the hell would you do this to me? Now I'm having to deal with your sister constantly berating me, saying that I have to become this kid's father? She keeps going on about how the baby doesn't have to be related to me by blood for me to be its father. But I can't be asked.
I'm sorry, but I don't really care to sit here and listen to my ex whine and complain about his life right now.
Go screw yourself. I have every right to be complaining like this about everything right now. Kelly? She went and got pregnant with another man before she married me. Think I'm just going to sit around and take this from her when she's absolute trash?
What? Has she been doing other things to you that have been pissing you off?
Ever since I went and said no to becoming that baby's father, she started to lash out at me. And she keeps on blaming me for being the one who's infertile. She tells me that as long as I shut up and deal with reality, everyone else can be happy. And in order to get me stuck between a rock and a hard place, she told my parents that she's carrying my kid.
Really?
Of course, the both of them were so happy to hear such a thing. Even though that the baby in her has nothing to do with this family.
Well, she's really gone and done it to you now. But all you have to do to fix that is go and tell your parents the truth, right? Tell them that it's not your baby and that it has nothing to do with your family at all.
You think I can go saying that to them? If I say something like that to my parents now, they will surely find out that I'm the infertile one.
Ah, I see.
If they both found out that their important son was the one who couldn't get a woman pregnant, do you have any clue how much that would kill them inside? My pride would be in tatters after that.
Well, if you don't do anything at all about this now, then you're going to just end up being the father of another man's child. But if you don't like that and end up talking about you being infertile, then your pride will be in tatters. Those are two very rough options you have to make a choice over, but neither have anything to do with me, so I don't care what you do.
What?
You're going to have yourself one awfully dramatic marriage with Kelly. But please, don't let all of the ups and downs take all the fun out of it. What am I going to do, Danny? His parents have found out about how this baby I'm carrying isn't Mike's, and because of that, they're wanting to get a settlement from me now. What? Then that means Mike went and told the both of them about how he's infertile. I thought he would never be able to bring that up with them, but now both of his parents are pissed off at me. They told me I really did a good one making them have such false hopes of happiness. And now they're saying they're going to force their son and I to get a divorce and then sue me. They're going to get $100,000 from me in that settlement, Danny. That's what I expected from a rich family. They would need a settlement at least 10 times the size of one we'd want to get. Help me, Danny. Do something to get the both of them to stop wanting to get a settlement from me over this. Screw you. I have no intention of helping your selfish ass. Huh? So you're just going to let them force me to pay $100,000? I don't have much in my savings, and I'm currently carrying a baby. I tried to call my old friend about this baby he gave me, yet he won't do anything at all to help me out here. He said he acknowledges that the baby is his, but he doesn't have the money to pay for the child support or anything right now. So you already tried to talk with him about this? You really are a fast-acting girl, aren't you? Please help me. You're the only person I have left to ask for help from. I can't bring something like this up with Mom and Dad. As my sister, you're the only person I can go to. Don't ever call me your sister ever again, please. I no longer think of you as my little sister, nor as my family anymore, Kelly. What? I don't care about someone who thinks it's okay to backstab their own sister. Some people say that women grow even stronger when they become a mother, so you should be able to manage somehow. After that, both Mike and Kelly got a divorce almost immediately. He and his parents ended up only asking for around $30,000 from her, but that was still a lot of money to someone like Kelly. I heard that she had to borrow a lot of money from a loan shark and paid off that settlement in one go. And after all of that was over with, Kelly was able to go back to that baby's real father and get married to him somehow. But of course, her new husband told her that the marriage and the baby could not get in the way of his dream of becoming a superstar with his band. They made a promise about that, and now Kelly is having to work part-time while also taking care of her soon-to-be-born baby. As for what happened with Mike and his family after the divorce was over with, his mom told him that the only option they had left was him getting treated, and both his mom and dad accompanied him to the hospital. However, every time they go there to get his next round of treatments, Mike's mom blows up on the doctor, asking him to hurry up and make her son fertile again, sometimes breaking things in the process. His mom will also go around the neighborhood asking people for recommendations on doctors and medicine that could help her son out. And with every person she goes around talking with about her son's infertility, the more of his pride goes down the drain.
Sean, I'm at my limit. I can't take this anymore. I've been taking care of your mom all this time by myself. You need to help out too.
Are you kidding? You want me to help you? Why should I? That's the sort of thing a wife does, and last time I checked, I'm the man of the house.
And I'm fine with taking on the brunt of the responsibilities, but I can't do it on my own. Your mom has dementia, and it keeps getting worse and worse. It's been 2 years since she got so bad that she couldn't live by herself anymore, Sean. Don't you think it's about time you considered placing her in an assisted living facility? This isn't just about me, remember? I'm concerned about getting your mother the amount of care that she requires.
How could you even think about suggesting that? You want me to just toss my own mother in a nursing home to rot? I could never do that to her.
First, that is totally not what I said, so please don't put words in my mouth. Second, if you're reluctant to send her to assisted living facility, I understand. How about hiring an elderly care professional to come to the house? It doesn't have to be every day. Even just someone over to help 3 days a week would be fantastic.
Hiring someone costs money, Linda. You, however, work for free.
I'm well aware that it costs money, Sean. You don't need to remind me. But it's not like we're doing that poorly financially. And I also know that your mother has a very sizable amount of savings. Couldn't you use some of that? Seeing as it is for her care, I don't think she'd have any problem with that.
Wait, why do you know about that?
You keep a pretty tight grip on her bank book, but I managed to catch a glimpse from over your shoulder when you were opening it up the other day. So I know that she has more than enough to be able to spend some of it on her care and still have plenty left over.
Oh, so you were spying on me? Well, regardless, you're not using that money. All of that money is gonna be mine someday. It's my inheritance. Every cent of that money that I use on my mom is one less cent that I'll have to use for myself. So no, there's no way I'll ever let you use that money.
Okay. Then at the very least, you need to step up and help me out. If you don't want to spend any money on her, then how about you give me a hand with her every now and then?
I can't help take care of my mom. I'm a man, Linda. I could never do anything like give her a bath or change her diapers. It makes me sick just thinking about it. So don't even bother to ask. Stop crying and keep doing everything like you've always done.
Alright, well, if you don't want to do all the dirty work, what about just cooking her meals or something? Or, I don't know, just coming by to talk to her would be enough. I'm trying to tell you that I don't want you to put everything on my shoulders anymore.
And I'm telling you that I'm not gonna do it. I don't have that kind of free time. You expect me to give my all at work and help you out at home? How selfish can you be?
There you go again. Every time I ask you for help, you always use your job as an excuse. Is your work so important that you can't spare even a few minutes a day to help your mother?
Look, you just need to put on your big girl pants, grit your teeth, and just keep doing everything like you have been. It's not like my mom has all that much longer left anyway. Both of our lives will get way easier once I get my hands on my mom's inheritance, so just put up with it for a little while longer, okay?
This isn't about money, Sean. Please. All I want is to have some free time for myself. Do you have any idea what it's like to be constantly interacting with someone suffering from dementia? I'd like to see you try it sometime. It's lonely, frustrating, saddening, and I'm just plain at my wit's end.
Oh, please, don't try to play the victim with me. You're not the only one having a hard time. I've had to put up with so much crap from you ever since you started looking after my mom. I keep waiting and waiting for you to finally be able to balance the housework and taking care of my mom, but you're still completely incompetent. And let me tell you another thing. Just what is this crap you've been cooking lately? It's like you're making nothing but frozen dinners.
I'm on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Whenever your mom needs anything, I have to run over to go help her. You can't honestly expect me to be able to keep an immaculate household under that kind of workload.
Excuses, excuses, excuses. Is that all you've got? If you've got this much time on your hands to complain about how much work you have to do, why not spend a little time learning to do it better? I'm the one earning the income that allows you to be a housewife, and don't you forget that. You've got a job to do, and I expect you to do it.
Linda, what is going on with you? You didn't come out to see me yesterday. I haven't seen you in ages. I was really looking forward to having some time to catch up. What? I showed up to the restaurant 15 minutes early, but you never came. Then, right when I figured you had stood me up and I was about to leave, your husband comes waltzing into the room. If you're going to cancel on me at the last minute, at least have some decency to tell me personally. The last person I want to hear it from was your husband. Chelsea? What are you talking about? I don't believe this. You didn't cancel on me. You just completely forgot? Forgot about what? It was the worst night of my life. He started out by apologizing that you weren't gonna make it, so I started to walk back to my car. But then he tells me that he wants to treat me to dinner to apologize. So we sit down at the table and he immediately starts complaining about his work, his colleagues, his health, you. He just whines the whole time. I'm not a freaking therapist. Hold on, Chelsea. I'm sorry, I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about. We were supposed to meet up yesterday? I don't remember us talking about that. And Sean took you out to dinner? Huh? Yeah, we were supposed to meet up. Didn't Sean tell you? He was the one that asked me to go out with you in the first place. He said that you were so tired from taking care of his mother that he wanted me to spend some time with you. So he gave me a time in a restaurant and told me you would meet me there. This was all Sean's plan? No, Chelsea, he never said anything about that to me. He didn't? But that doesn't make any sense. Then again, nothing that happened last night made any sense. There I was, thinking I would get to have some girl-to-girl time with my best friend, but you canceled at the last second. And then I ended up having to spend the whole evening with your husband. I'm so sorry about all of that, Chelsea. I'm going to go ask him what happened right now. I'll text you back once I know more. Sean, I just got a text from Chelsea. Would you mind explaining to me just what you were doing? You used me to lure my best friend out to dinner? What in the world is going on?
Oh, sweet little Chelsea told you about last night, huh? Tell me, did she say anything about me to you? Like how I was a perfect gentleman and treated her to a wonderful evening?
Don't dodge the issue, Sean. Answer my question. You used me as bait to get my best friend to come out and meet you, didn't you? And you did all of this without saying anything to me. What do you think you're doing, Sean?
What's the big deal? All I wanted was to have a good meal for a change.
What?
I'm sick and tired of your sloppy cooking, Linda. I want real food, but I couldn't go out to eat by myself. That would just be embarrassing. That's when I got this great idea. I don't have to eat alone. I'll just call one of your friends to give me some company.
Are you out of your mind?
I'm out of patience from dealing with you. You made me have to eat out to get a decent meal. Someone has to take responsibility for that, and if it isn't you, it may as well be someone close to you.
You are out of your mind. Tricking my best friend into having dinner with you so you could complain to her about everything, including me? You're a real jerk, Sean.
Whoa, 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 who are you calling a jerk, Linda? I'd say that I'm one of the least jerky husbands out there.
What? You're gonna have to explain that one.
You've been on my back for months saying you want some time to yourself, right? Now I would have loved to let you go and have a drink with your friend, but you have to take care of my mom. So out of the kindness of my heart, I went out drinking with your friend for you. I heard about all the stupid crap she's been doing lately. I'll tell you all about it later while you're making my dinner. So you can get the full experience of drinking with your friends while at the same time doing your housework.
Are you being serious right now? Is this some kind of a prank?
Man, though, that Chelsea is a knockout. She's always been pretty hot, but I think she looks better now in comparison to how much you've let yourself go. A delicious meal with a beautiful woman. It was heavenly. You should have her give you some fashion and makeup tips. With her help, you might look a little less frumpy.
You want me to clean the house, cook our meals, and take care of your mom, all while looking like some Instagram model? If that's what you want, then help me out sometimes, Sean.
How many times do I have to tell you, Linda? I ain't doing anything to help you with my mom, so stop asking.
Fine. I don't want or expect anything from you anymore. I don't care what you do from now on, but leave Chelsea out of it. Never ask her out to dinner again.
Uh-oh, is that jealousy I detect? Are you bitter that Chelsea and I grew closer to one another over a nice meal? Then you had better become a better housewife, Linda. None of this would have happened if you could cook semi-decently. Thanks for taking care of all the funeral arrangements, Linda. Oh, and thanks so much for taking care of my mom for me all these years. It must have been super hard on you taking all of that stuff on by yourself.
Why, yes, Sean. Yes, it was. It was quite difficult for me. I was 100% responsible for caring for my elderly mother-in-law, who was suffering from severe dementia without cease for 5 years. It's strange, though, that you would wait until right now to express any words of gratitude towards me.
Meh, I figured you earned a compliment. Thanks to you, I had a really easy time of things, and now I can start living my brand new life without any regrets.
Huh? Your new life? What are you talking about?
Now that the funeral's over, there's something I've been waiting a very long time to tell ya. We're getting divorced. I left a stack of divorce papers in the kitchen. Go and sign them as soon as you get a chance.
You want to divorce me?
Yeah, and I've been waiting for this moment for ages. I've already signed all the places I need to. Once you're finished, I'm going straight over to the courthouse to submit them. And do hurry up, won't you? I want to get married to my sweet little Chelsea as soon as possible.
Chelsea? Sean, hold on just 1 second. That was a joke, right? Not the part about the divorce, the part about Chelsea. You're not getting married to her, are you?
Joking? Why would I be joking about the happiest moment in my life? I hate to say this, Linda, but who am I kidding? I love being able to finally tell you this. Sweet little Chelsea is madly, deeply, truly in love with me. What kind of man would pass up an opportunity to be with a babe like her?
What?
Remember when I took her out to dinner a few years ago? I know you were totally oblivious to this, but the truth is that we've been meeting up in secret ever since then. And it wasn't just me asking her out either. It feels like most of the time she was the one asking me out. And not once did she ever ask me to bring you along. In fact, she never even mentioned you at all. You don't mean anything to her, Linda. All she wants is me. You see, it's obvious that she's in love with me. I'm not dense enough to miss all those obvious signs.
Well, Sean, I'm glad that you've been enjoying your life these past several years. While you were out getting all lovey-dovey with my best friend, I was stuck at home caring for your dying mother. And now, on the evening of her funeral, you go and drop all of this on me at once?
Sorry, babe, but I just can't hold back anymore. I'm freaking losing my mind over here. I mean, think about it. I've got one of the baddest hotties in the city in the palm of my hand. She could have any guy she wants, but she chose me. I'll bet that right now my mom is looking down at me, feeling so proud of her son for landing a catch like my sweet little Chelsea.
Uh-huh. So, you're serious about divorcing me, aren't you?
Dead serious, and I want to get it over with as quickly as we can. Within the week, if possible. Now that my mom's dead, I don't have any reason to keep you around. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. You'll get a fair amount of alimony from me. So don't be a whiny brat about this, okay? Just be a good little girl and sign those divorce papers. Oh, and make sure you get a good gift for our wedding. Chelsea's your best friend, after all. I would appreciate it if you'd wear a mask, though. Not because I'm afraid of getting sick, I just don't want your ugly mug ruining my wedding.
That's a mighty nice plan you've built up for yourself there. Would you like to know Chelsea's opinion on the whole thing?
Huh?
She's sitting right next to me, and she's laughing so hard I think she might just have an aneurysm. In her words, "That creepy old geezer thinks I'm in love with him? What a pathetic delusional loser."
Hey, she would never talk about me that way. She loves me. You're making all that up. She's not really sitting next to you. She's not really sitting next to you, is she?
She is, actually. She sent me a text immediately after the funeral was finished. She said she wanted to meet up and have a talk with me. So I went to a nearby cafe and, well, here we are.
What? Why would she be going out of her way to meet up with you? You're her rival in the battle for my heart. You're nothing but an obstacle to her.
I'll have you know, Linda is my best friend in the entire world. I will never see her as an obstacle, no matter what life has in store for us. And yes, I was the one who reached out to her and asked her to meet me here. After all, my best friend was finally free from having to take care of her dying mother-in-law. She can relax and enjoy life for the first time in 5 years. How could I not be with her in such a happy moment? I'm her best friend.
Wait, Chelsea, is that really you?
Oh, now it's just Chelsea, is it? What happened to my sweet little Chelsea? Ugh. Every time you called me that, you made me want to puke. Blah.
But huh?
If you must address me, you can call me ma'am. I swear to God, if you call me sweetheart or angel one more time, I'm going to tear you limb from limb, you creepy old geezer.
But but ma'am, why are you talking so, I don't know, so mean to me right now? You aren't usually like this. I mean, you really do love me, don't you? You always acted so much sweeter to me during our secret little rendezvous.
Rendezvous? That's a joke, right? Who would ever fall in love with a dirty old man like you?
Well, you did, ma'am. You fell in love with me, right? And you want to marry me so we can be together forever. That's why you kept meeting up with me for dinner all these years while keeping it a secret from my wife.
I'm sorry. Didn't Linda tell you what I said about you earlier? For the record, I used a lot worse words to describe you than creepy old geezer, but let's keep this conversation G-rated, shall we? So no, I don't love you. I actually thoroughly despise you to the very core of my being. You've been treating my best friend like a slave for all of these years. I had to scarf down 20 antacids every time I went to dinner with you because the stress of looking at your ugly face gave me heartburn.
How can you say that to me? Don't forget that you were the one who invited me out most of the time. Is this some weird hard-to-get act? I thought our relationship was beyond that point.
I'm not hard to get. I'm impossible to get for you. The only reason I ever went out to dinner with you was to help out Linda. This was the only way in the world that Linda could ever get some peace and quiet time all to herself. She gave up hope of you ever caring about her and stopped asking. So I started asking you out in order to force her to take some time for herself. All those smiles and giggles I gave you during those meals, they were all fake. I was acting.
No, that can't be true.
It was all worth it though, because thanks to my noble sacrifice, Linda was able to be totally free, if only for a little while. She called in an elderly care service to look after your mom for her, and while they were at the house, she was able to read a book, watch TV, enjoy a nice meal, and even just catch up on sleep. So yeah, don't be delusional. I didn't want to go out to dinner with you. I tolerated it. Every single one of our dates was just a cover for Linda to be able to relax.
I don't believe you! You mean you were deceiving me? You didn't actually have any feelings for me?
Trust me, Sean. I have guys lining up to talk to me at every club I go to, and even the least attractive one of them is 5 times the man you are. Linda is an absolute saint, though. She told me that I didn't have to do this for her, and tried to get me to stop. But after seeing how much stress she was under with a senile mother-in-law and an uncaring husband, I had to do anything I could for her.
This can't be!
A few times, she even tried to hand me some money afterward to pay me for my time. But, like, you were taking me to some of the most expensive restaurants in town. Getting awesome food for free was all the things I needed, so I turned her down every time. So, again, for the record, this whole scheme was 100% my idea. Linda had no part in it. You had better not try to take out your frustration over this on her. Got it?
But Chelsea, I was serious about you. I was going to divorce Linda so I could be with you. I already signed the divorce papers. It's over between us. I've sacrificed everything for you. Are you just gonna let that sacrifice be in vain?
You making some of the dumbest decisions possible isn't my fault. I will never marry you, ever. I would rather die. You made your bed, now lie in it. Divorce Linda and set her free once and for all. She's gonna come and live with me now. If I ever see you come within even 1 city block of Linda, I'm gonna track you down and slap some sense into you.
What's going on, Linda? What is this thing you sent me? What business do you have demanding any money from me?
I have every right to demand that money from you, actually. The amount you see on the bottom of that page is nothing more than my fair share of your assets. That, and a share of your mother's inheritance.
You idiot! Are you serious? You don't have any right to my mother's inheritance! So what if you were her babysitter for the last 5 years of her life? You're still nothing but her daughter-in-law. I, however, am her son! Her only son, and as such, I'm entitled to everything! Didn't you even do the bare minimum amount of research before you sent me this thing?
Allow me to turn that question right back at you, Sean. Didn't you do the bare minimum of research before texting me? If you did, you noticed that there were very important changes in the law several years ago.
Huh? What change?
It was made so that family members who spend a certain amount of time caring for their relatives are also entitled to a claim of certain percentages of their estate when they pass away. It doesn't matter if I'm not her blood relative. All that matters is that I was her caretaker. There's not a single thing on those documents that isn't clearly defined in the applicable inheritance law.
Really?
Yes, really. If you want to know more, you can go ahead and shoot sweet little Chelsea a text and ask her. After all, she's the lawyer who's representing me in our divorce proceedings. I bet she would do a much better job at explaining the relative sections of the law to you.
Wait, what? Chelsea's a lawyer?
You've been going out to dinner with her at least once a month for the past several years, and you never even asked her about what she did for a living?
Well, she was always so intently listening to what I had to say while we were out together. She's a really good listener, and she was always really engaged in our conversations.
Yep, she's a great lawyer. She knows just how to get a person to go blabbing about all the information she wants to get out of them. I would hate to be on the receiving end of her lawyering skills. Sucks to be you.
Damn it! Damn it, this sucks! I don't care if your haughty friend is a lawyer. I'm not giving you one single solitary cent of my inheritance. I'll have you know I just found my mother's will in her desk the other day. I know that when I open this, it's gonna say in big, bold letters that I get everything she owned.
Wow, you found your mom's will. What's it say?
Don't rush me, I'm getting there. Let's see. To whom it may concern, I, Cheryl Longworth, having received the loving care of my son and his wife in the waning years of my life, do hereby bequeath, are you ready, Linda? Here it comes, half of my estate to my daughter-in-law, Linda. What the? She left half of her estate to you? Why would she do a thing like that?
Well, thank you so much for reading that for me, Sean. I had no idea that your mother was planning to be so generous to me in death. I was only going to sue you for the minimum amount I'm entitled to for caring for your mom, but I think I'll withdraw that suit now.
No! That's okay, go ahead and sue me!
No, Sean, I think I'll take half of everything instead. After all, that's what your mother wanted. You wouldn't want to go against your mother's dying wishes, would you?
Screw her dying wishes, I want the money!
I'll have to let Chelsea know about the will as soon as possible. She'll need to do some more paperwork for me. I think I'll let her handle everything from here on out, actually.
Hey, we don't need to get lawyers involved in this, do we? Can't we settle this like adults?
Oh, you want to settle? That's fine with me. I'd like to avoid a lengthy trial if possible. Here are my terms. Screw you, pay me. Since Sean went to the trouble of finding his mom's will for me, the divorce proceedings didn't take long. I received half of his mom's estate, as she had it in her will, and also half of Sean's assets. My friend Chelsea is letting me live in the guest room of her awesome house for the time being. I think I'll stay here for a while. It's great being able to have some pleasant company for a change. As for my ex-husband Sean, having never cooked a single thing in the entire time we've been married, he was at a loss for how to feed himself with me gone. He ended up going out to eat for every meal, which both expanded his waistline and shrunk his pocketbook. He's burning through the remaining half of his assets at an incredible pace. From what I hear, he's already used up just about everything his mom left for him. I'm glad his mother never lived to see what a pathetic little wretch he'd become. Megan, if you've got something you want to say to me, get over here and say it to my face. I know you've been telling all kinds of lies about me behind my back, and it's obnoxious. You're a grown woman. Now act like it. Huh? Whatever are you talking about? Talk about you behind your back? Me? Perish the thought. A good little girl like me would never dream of bad-mouthing her wonderful sister-in-law. You're not fooling anyone, Megan, so don't bother trying to lie to me. I heard you myself. I know exactly what you've been saying about me. You've been begging my parents to kick me out of the house. It would be nice if you could at least admit that. Oh, crap! You heard that? Man, I thought you were in the shower when I was talking to them about that. Well, I wasn't. Now, while I did hear you begging them to kick me out, what I didn't hear was the why. So, Megan, why do you want me out of the house? Does it bother you to live in the same house as me for some reason? No, that's not true. It doesn't bother me at all. All I did was make a little proposal to your parents. Attempting to get me kicked out of my own house isn't a little proposal. This is my house. I was born here. I have every right to be here. On the other hand, you and my brother moved in on a moment's notice after you got married. So, on top of inviting yourselves in, you're also trying to now have the place all to yourself? Pretty presumptuous of you, don't you think? Come on, Megan, let's hear it. What's your problem with me? Good grief, you're persistent. I was trying to keep from hurting your feelings, but if you really want me to lay it all out for you, here it goes. I hate living with you. It is a massive annoyance to have my sister-in-law living in the same house as us. All I did was tell your parents how I felt and suggested they kick you out. And I was well within my rights to do so. See? Doesn't it feel better to get that off your chest? And no, it doesn't just bother me to live in the same house as you. It disgusts me. You disgust me. I've had all I can take. I can't handle it anymore. You should be grateful I've bit my tongue for this long. Oh? I disgust you, do I? With every fiber of my being, you weird old spinster. You're 38, Sandra. You're almost 40. Being single and unemployed and still living at home? At your age? How could I not be disgusted by that? And you constantly mooch off your parents, using their money to go on vacations by yourself every chance you get. I don't even want to associate with someone like you, much less live with you. First off, so what if I'm single? That's none of your concern. It's my freedom to choose the whens, whos, and ifs of getting married for myself. Second, I'm not unemployed. I did quit my old job, but I only did so because I'd already gotten a confirmed job offer from my next company. The only reason I'm not working right now is that for various reasons, I won't be starting at that company for another few months. And about my vacations. I just got done doing a very busy job, and I'm about to start another one, so I'm using the time in between to enjoy myself a little. What's wrong with that? Did you actually think I was gonna believe that ridiculous story? You quit your job because you sucked at it and everyone hated you. You don't have another job lined up, you're just making that up. Like, seriously, you're almost 40, way over the hill, and single. What company in their right mind would want something like you working there? You're so pathetic. I almost feel sorry for you. Most ugly, old, unmarriageable women at least make themselves useful in the workplace. But you're no good in the office or in the home. You're 40 and your life has already hit a wall. That's a bunch of nonsense. Not one single word of that is true, Megan. I was not fired. I received a better offer from a company and decided to take it. Oh yeah? Where did you get hired, Sandra? At the unicorn and leprechaun factory? Man, I used to work with someone exactly like you at my old company. Is that so? Yep, you're becoming more and more like her every day. She was a 40-year-old single spinster like you. She had been with the company forever, and she always lorded that over everyone and bossed them around. But she was super incompetent. I finally got sick of it and went over her head, telling her superiors what a pathetic, useless employee she was. I may have embellished the story a bit, adding a few mistakes here and there that may not have been 100% truthful. You lied about her? I didn't lie. I embellished. Those are two different things. And it worked. She got fired. Apparently, she had a hard time getting a new job after that, so she ended up working part-time at a convenience store. You ruined her life with lies, and you're laughing about it? And all because you just didn't like her for childish reasons? I couldn't help it. It's like a gag reflex. Some people just make me sick. Especially gross, old, single women. Those types really get my blood boiling. They completely abandon every last shred of their femininity and just resign themselves to being single forever. And that's why you want to kick me out of the house, is it? Because I remind you of the poor woman whose life you destroyed? Is that really what this is all about? You're actually worse than her, though, since you don't even have a job. Every time I look at you, it reminds me of what a total slob you are, and I hate it. A woman your age having no choice but to mooch off your parents because you failed in life? Yuck. Oh my god. Like that time a few weeks ago when you whined and whined and whined until your parents took you along on their trip to the lake house. I felt like I was going to puke watching you walk out the door with your suitcase. I paid for my own share of the trip, so I really don't see what your problem could be with that. Actually, I paid for most of the expenses too. I was the one that suggested the trip. It was intended to be a present from me. How long are you gonna keep telling those stupid lies, Sandra? No one believes you. Hurry up and get out of the house, you ugly, unemployed spinster. Don't worry, your brother and I will take great care of this house and your parents. We don't need you around. Well, I'm getting married too, so I'll be out of your hair before too much longer. Okay, that might be one of your most hilarious lies yet. You are really committed to the bit, aren't you? What is with older women and their massively overinflated egos? You're so afraid to admit the truth. And you are afraid to admit that you're wrong about me, so you just instantly assume everything I say is a lie. Whatever, have it your way. I'm packing my things up and leaving ASAP. Hey Travis, just letting you know, your wife kicked me out of the house, so I'm leaving. Take good care of Mom and Dad for me, okay?
What? What are you talking about, Sandra? You're moving out? You've never mentioned anything about this before.
Yeah, well, it seems like your wife really, really, really hates me. No matter how many times I try to explain how she's wrong, she keeps calling me an ugly, unemployed spinster. Apparently, I remind her of some woman she used to work with that she couldn't stand. Not sure what that's all about, though. That's only the beginning of the long list of horrible things she said to me, and I don't want to deal with it anymore, so I'm leaving.
Sandra, I am so sorry about all of that, but please, could you find it in your heart to forgive her? It's not really her fault at all.
How so?
Megan had this absolutely terrible woman for a superior at the company she used to work for. It seems like every day she was finding newer, crueler ways to torment Megan. It was all Megan could do to muster up the courage to show up at the office every morning. And if she says you look just like her, then I can kinda understand why it would be difficult for her to be around you. That awful woman caused Megan an unbelievable amount of trauma. So please don't hold it against Megan, she's a victim.
Is that what Megan told you, Travis? That she was being bullied by her superior at the company?
Yeah, she used to talk to me about that all the time back when we were dating. The way she showed such resilience and resolve in the face of incredible hardship. I admired the strength of her character so much that it made me want to marry her. I wanted to be there for her, to stand by her when times got tough. So one night when she was telling me yet another story of that awful woman's bullying, I said to her, "You don't ever have to go to that company ever again, Megan. I'm gonna work twice as hard for the rest of my life so you can stay at home and be a wife and mother." And then I took out the ring I had been saving and popped the question.
Wow, so that's how it happened?
But then, after we got married, Megan started saying that she felt lonely being all by herself in the house all day. That's when I got the idea to move in with our parents. The only problem was the fact that you were still living here. Now I know why she's been acting strangely lately. It's because seeing you was bringing back her trauma. Again, I'm really sorry for the way she treated you, but maybe it would be for the best if you moved out.
Travis, let me start off by saying that the way you stick up for your wife is one of your most admirable qualities. However, that exceptionally admirable quality is causing a big problem in the current situation. Megan is using you. I think it's time you stepped back and saw your wife for what she really is.
What? What are you trying to say, Sandra? I know exactly what Megan is. She's a sweet, soft-spoken, gentle woman. There are hardly any women like her around my age these days.
Again, Travis, I'm sure that's what you sincerely believe, but it's clear that I've done all I can do at this point, so I'll be taking my leave. Just promise me that you won't let her cause any trouble for Mom and Dad, okay?
Seriously, what's gotten into you all of a sudden, Sandra? Of course we're not going to cause any trouble for Mom and Dad. They're thrilled to have the two of us here. And one of these days we're going to have grandchildren for them, and then they'll be even happier. Look, you're my sister, but I have to stand with my wife here. I'm sorry living together didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. Don't worry, I'll take good care of Mom and Dad for you.
Hey there, Granny. So how's your job search going? Did you finally land that super sweet job you dreamed about? By the way, you have a bunch of stuff left behind here, and I want to get rid of it as soon as possible. Where should I send it? Or can I just throw it away? Sorry about that. I've been too busy with stuff over here to swing by and pick up those boxes. I might actually be the best idea to have you send them to me. I'll give you my address, so go ahead and send them COD. Gladly! These stupid boxes are taking up so much space. So tell me, what subsidized apartment should I send this junk to? Oh, I know! You're the new occupant of the cardboard box down the alley off Main Street, right? Huh? You poor thing. I don't want to have to imagine what sort of dump an unemployed spinster like you must be living in. Like, do you even have a bathroom? Or a door? I'll bet your neighbors are all drug dealers, too. There you go, fantasizing about my life again. I'll give you the address in a second. I'm living in the new condo building that just got finished over on Center Avenue. I'd rather you don't know what my room number is, so just put my name on it and send it to the management office. What? You mean that super sweet-looking place with a rooftop pool? Why would I send it there? There's no way you could afford a room there. Actually, there is a way, because I just moved in here with my husband. The rooms here are incredible. They look just like they did in the commercials. I'm gonna love life here. Your husband? You got married? I told you the day I left the house, don't you remember? I said I was planning on leaving in the near future anyway. But that was just you making up some more nonsense. Travis has never talked about you having a fiancé, boyfriend, or anything. You have to be making up that stuff about getting married. What's with this sudden interest in my love life, Megan? I thought you were disgusted by single, unemployed 40-year-olds. Anyways, I'm under no compulsion to divulge the details of my private life to anyone, family or otherwise. I've been dating him for 3 years now. I've just told my family about him. You kept him a secret for that long? It's not so much that I was keeping him a secret, it's just that, well, no one ever asked if I had a boyfriend, so... But yeah, we're both pretty far along in our careers, so we've got a really solid amount of savings put together. A condo in a place like this is actually slightly on the cheap side for people like us. What do you mean, we? You're unemployed. I've seen the way you just lay around in the house all day. Even if you're really getting married, and that's a big if, you must be living completely off his money. It's not my fault that you never listened to me all the million times I told you that I do have a job. If you would have listened, you would have known that I simply quit my old job in preparation to take the new one. And now I get to spend the next 6 months until I start that job relaxing in my sweet new condo. In regards to our finances, I was already making a decent salary at my old company. Once I officially start my new job, I'll be making over $100,000 a year. What? $100,000 a year? That's insane! If you think that's a lot of money, you should see what my husband makes. Compared to him, my salary is like a drop in the bucket of our net worth. He's on the board of directors for his company, which is one of the biggest firms in the area. Plus, he's one of the primary candidates for the next CEO. I don't believe this! You're making $100,000 a year by yourself? And your husband is making even more? But why would you get your hands on such an eligible bachelor? You're just some ugly old spinster. You don't deserve a guy like that. You should marry someone, I don't know, less awesome than that. I'm terribly sorry for breaking the rules of who I'm allowed to marry. But for the record, we actually met through work. His company is in the construction industry, and several years back, my company started dealing with them. We interacted quite often, on a professional level, and eventually we started seeing each other outside of work. There was a surprising amount we had in common. We hit it off right away. And one thing led to another, and, well, now we're married. Wait a second! Did you say your husband's company is in the construction industry? That's right. Have you ever heard of the company Verdant Lumber? They started out exclusively in the construction industry, but they've branched out into furniture and other similar things lately. But that's Travis's company! Whoa, really? He got a new job right before we got married. He said that if he was gonna have me at home, he wanted to have a better job with a higher income potential. That's when he applied to Verdant Lumber. Well, I guess it's more accurate to say it's a child company of Verdant Lumber. My oh my. It's a small world, isn't it? To think my brother is working for the same company as my husband. Well, it's a pretty big company, so they probably won't ever interact with each other very much. Anyway, I have to get back to setting up stuff over here. Let me know when you ship those boxes over, will you?
Sandra, are you there? I just heard from Megan that your husband works for Verdant Lumber. Is that true? Tell me his name, please.
His name is Alexander Martinson, but I'm not sure you'd recognize the name. You're all part of the same group, but there are well over 1,000 employees working in the main corporate office like him.
I can't believe it. To think Alexander is your boyfriend. Well, I guess he's your husband now.
Oh, you do know him then?
Know him? I just talked to him 5 seconds ago. He's my immediate superior. I report directly to your husband, Sandra.
Wow.
Yeah, they just started up the furniture division at corporate headquarters. A team was launched last week to work on setting up the company's first direct sale furniture store. I'm on that team, and, well, your husband is the team's leader.
Man, that is one crazy coincidence.
Alexander is one of the best people I've ever worked with. We shoot the breeze pretty often while on our breaks, and lately he's been talking about getting married and moving into a new condo. And I thought, that sounds awfully similar to what you've been doing lately.
So that's why you texted me just now, to check if your hunch was right?
Sandra, why didn't you tell me you were getting married? You never told any of us. How could you keep something like that a secret from Mom, Dad, and me?
Well, I mean, I'm already almost 40. I didn't think you'd be interested. Who wants to hear about some old maid's love life anyway? I thought it would just make you guys uncomfortable to hear about it. So, yeah, we kinda eloped the other day.
Sandra!
Just so you know, I did actually tell Mom and Dad about getting married. They've been really good to me and leaving me alone to determine my own path. I don't think they ever once expressed anything like, "Aren't you ever gonna get married?" or that sort of thing. They're really great parents.
But man, it's still crazy to think my boss is your husband.
Yeah, I do feel kinda bad about dropping the bomb on you. But in my defense, I didn't actually know either. So, yeah, that's what's going on in my life right now. It was actually pretty good timing for your wife to kick me out. I'm now enjoying the newlywed life with my husband in our brand new condo. Good afternoon, Sandra. Hey, how would you like to stop by and have a cup of tea one of these days? I would love to hear all the juicy details of how you and your husband's life is going. Huh? Oh, what's with the sudden change of heart, Megan? Did you just say I disgust you with every fiber of your being? Those were your words, by the way. What? Can I say I just hate unemployed, unmarried old women? Now you're married, and I realize I was under the wrong impression with your work situation. So I don't have any reason to hate you anymore. Oh, and could you send me some pictures of your condo? I'd love to see what the view is like from your floor. Maybe you could even invite us over for dinner sometime. Well, this is a side of you I've never seen before. Yeah, I know, right? This is how I act around people who aren't unemployed, unmarried old women. I'm so glad everything got cleared up between us. What was I thinking calling you unemployed and all that stuff? I was such a dummy. Your parents told me that you really did pay for the vacation you took. That was so kind of you. Oh, that trip to the lake house? I was thinking, maybe next time you could take us along too. Your mom said the house was absolutely gorgeous. It's basically 15 steps from the back door of the house to the beach. I've always dreamed of spending time in a house like that. This is pretty hard for me to take in. Up until about last week, you were calling me an ugly old spinster. I've got it! We can go on vacation together to commemorate us repairing our relationship. You can afford to book the lake house for a week or two, can't you? I'm a housewife though, so I'm afraid I won't be able to pay anything. Wow. I know. We can go bikini shopping together. Well, bikini shopping for me, and one-piece shopping for you, I guess. But before all of that, how about that cup of tea? When can I come over and see your new condo? I'm good coming over anytime you're available. You are never allowed in this condo. Never. I'm telling the building manager to call the police immediately if you try to come in. What? Why am I not allowed to come over? And you're gonna call the police on me? What have I done to deserve that? Honestly, I think she'd call the police on you even without me telling her to. I don't blame her either. After all you did to her, you know how you made up a bunch of lies in order to get her fired? I had only heard your side of that story, but once I heard hers, holy smokes, you are evil, Megan. What? It really is a small world, Megan. This condo building's manager and owner is none other than the woman you forced out of your old company. She worked so hard for that company for so many years, then one day, some young thing with an attitude comes along and starts being awful to her. But did you get punished for your behavior? No. She did. That poor woman. No! No! That cannot be true! That old hag is the owner of the newest and most exclusive condominium building in the city? I told you, she was a very hard worker. She saved up and invested very well for herself. She's always talking to the girls that come around about how important investing is for single women. She's been dreaming of owning her own building like this since she was young. And when you came along, she finally found the perfect opportunity to make it a reality. She had enough saved up to make her down payment. So she decided she'd had enough of you and your harassment and quit her job. I thought she was fired! She didn't want to give you the satisfaction. So once she heard you had gone over her head with your lies, she quit. Seriously, how could you be so awful to such a kind woman? She's been fantastic to me and my husband. Just the other day, she invited me over to her room for some afternoon tea. When we get to talking about her history, that's when I realized that she was the woman you told me about. That's just... This is way beyond the level of mere coincidence. I still can't believe it. That old hag owns the best condo in the city? But I heard she was working part-time at a convenience store. Oh, that's true actually. Being a condo manager isn't a 24/7 job, so she decided to pick up a part-time job to do in her free time. She works out of boredom? Yep. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend trying to come to the building. The best case scenario is that you simply waste a trip. The worst case scenario, you take a trip in a police car. I'd like to avoid that if possible. In that case, allow me to make 2 recommendations to you. 1, never show your face around my condo building. And 2, never contact me again. Goodbye. After that, I kept taking my regular trips to the lake house with my parents. But I make a point to never invite Megan. I asked my parents about what life is like at their house since I've been gone. The good news is that Megan still puts on her sweet and innocent act in front of them, so they aren't having any issues with her. They say that as long as she doesn't start acting up like she did towards me, then they won't have any problems with her living there. That's reassuring to hear. As for me, Megan occasionally sends me an over-complimentary text to try and find some way to work herself back into my life. But I've yet to respond to a single one. I still feel bad for my brother Travis though. He's still under the impression that his wife is some sweet little angel. I genuinely do admire and respect the devotion he has to his wife. I guess all I can do is hope that she keeps up the act around him too, for the rest of her life.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey Sarah, do you have a minute?
Yeah, what's up?
I've been worried about you lately. Haven't heard from you much since you announced the wedding date.
Been busy with wedding planning, that's all.
Sarah, are you really okay? If you're struggling with money, we could help out with the wedding costs, you know?
Huh? We're not having any trouble with money or the wedding costs. Why are you suddenly asking?
You don't need to pretend everything's fine with me. I'm your sister.
I'm really not pretending anything. What's this about?
You don't have to put on a brave face. I heard Jack messed up big time at work, and now he's being demoted to some remote office because of it.
Demoted? What are you talking about?
Tom told me everything. His friend at Jack's company says it's really bad.
What exactly did Tom's friend say?
It's a transfer from headquarters, and I bet his salary's going to take a huge hit. And just when you were finally going to have your wedding this year, after saving up for your 10th anniversary wedding celebration, now it's all ruined because of this remote office demotion.
Wait a minute, what are you even talking about?
What do you mean?
Jack hasn't been demoted or had his salary cut, and our wedding preparations are going fine.
Oh no, you haven't heard anything yet. Or maybe Jack's desperately trying to hide it from you. I mean, being demoted to some remote office is pretty embarrassing to tell your wife.
What?
Look, I know it's hard to accept, but you need to confront him about this.
There's nothing to confront him about. Where is all this coming from?
Tom told me about it. Apparently, his friend works at Jack's company. Everyone knows Jack's totally incompetent at work, right?
Excuse me?
You can't keep defending him forever, sis. This isn't the first time he's messed up.
When has he ever messed up? This is the first I'm hearing of any of this.
He's always getting yelled at by his boss, disrespected by his colleagues and juniors. Then he finally snapped and angrily submitted his resignation letter, right? But apparently he came to his senses right after and desperately begged on his knees to take it back. They agreed, but in exchange, he's being sent to some remote office.
That's impossible. Jack is definitely not incompetent.
What, are you saying Tom's friend is lying?
Either that or the story got twisted somewhere along the way. What I can tell you is that Jack isn't incompetent, and he's definitely not being demoted.
Why would Tom's friend make this up? He has no reason to lie.
I don't know, but what you're saying isn't true.
You are trying so hard to defend your husband. It must be tough being married to an incompetent man, sis. I'm so glad I married Tom. He works for a big company. He's successful, and we had our dream wedding right after getting married.
I keep telling you Jack isn't incompetent. How dare you talk about my husband like that?
Don't get so defensive. I'm just stating facts.
These aren't facts. You're just repeating gossip. You should show a little more consideration.
Huh? Just because he's my sister's husband doesn't mean anything. There's no reason to respect such a boring, plain, antisocial guy.
What did you just say?
Come on, you know it's true. He barely talks at family gatherings.
That's because you and Tom never give him a chance to speak.
Well, I guess he's perfectly matched with my plain, boring sister.
Excuse me?
I'm just being honest. Someone needs to tell you these things.
No one asked for your opinion about my marriage.
You should ask Jack about the demotion soon. I mean, you probably don't want to follow him to some remote location. And let's be real, once you're divorced, a plain, boring divorced woman like you won't have any chance of remarrying. You'll be alone forever.
I'm done with this conversation.
Don't blame me when everything falls apart. I tried to warn you.
You haven't warned me about anything. You've just insulted me and my husband repeatedly.
Fine, stay in denial, but don't come crying to me when you're stuck in some remote town with your failed husband.
Don't message me again until you're ready to apologize. Jack, there are some horrible rumors going around about you.
What? Horrible rumors about me?
I just got a call from my sister Amy. Apparently, her husband Tom's friend works at your company. He told them you're being demoted to some remote office, and the reason for the demotion is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, is it the one where I'm called incompetent, lost my temper, and then submitted my resignation only to beg for it back?
Wait, you knew about this?
Yeah, it reached my ears too, but don't worry about it, Sarah. My bosses and seniors are probably just spreading made-up stories for fun. It'll die down eventually.
What do you mean? Why would your bosses do something like that?
They're probably just jealous. I hit it big with my investment and decided to quit, remember? Plus, I'm moving to Hawaii with my wife. They're probably annoyed about it. They looked really frustrated when I handed in my resignation.
Oh my god! What ridiculous people! They're spreading rumors because of something like that?
That place was full of bosses who just dumped their work on me, seniors who took credit for my work, and colleagues and juniors who blamed their mistakes on me. Yet they kept calling me incompetent while using me whenever it was convenient.
Seriously? I knew it was bad, but I didn't know all of that. Why didn't you tell me sooner?
I didn't want to worry you. They've been doing this for years, but I was focused on our bigger goals.
When you put it that way, it really was a terrible workplace. You definitely made the right choice leaving.
The work itself was rewarding, but I was reaching my mental limit. Fortunately, that's when the investment paid off big time, though it was just Bitcoin that I bought for fun going crazy.
When did you first buy it? I remember you mentioning cryptocurrency years ago.
Back when everyone said it was worthless, I just thought the technology was interesting.
It's incredible, isn't it? Turning $1,000 into $1 million.
I still can't believe it myself. Apparently some global investor bought in for fun. The news spread like wildfire and the price skyrocketed. Thanks to that, I could decide to quit and chase our dream of living abroad. Feels like I used up all my lottery winning luck in one go.
So they're spreading these lies because they're jealous of you, and somehow the story reached Amy.
Who would have thought Tom had a friend at my company? Small world, isn't it?
I should contact Amy right away. She was laughing and looking down on us so much. I need to tell her the truth.
Hey, why don't we just leave it be? There's no need to correct them.
Huh? Why not? If we leave it like this, they'll keep looking down on us, on you, and I hate that.
Think about it for a moment. What good would telling them do?
At least they'd know the truth.
But you know, Amy and Tom have always looked down on us anyway, calling us plain and antisocial. Tom's always bragging about his salary and expensive watches.
Yeah, now you say that.
Every family gathering, remember last Christmas?
When he kept showing everyone his new Rolex.
I'd just brush it off saying, that's nice, because I don't care about that stuff. Those two probably just need to look down on others to feel good about themselves. Imagine telling them about the investment success and Hawaii move. Even my former colleagues and bosses are causing trouble with their jealousy. To be honest, who knows what those two might do?
You think they might try to interfere with our plans?
They've always tried to one-up us. Remember when we bought our house?
When they suddenly decided they needed a bigger one too? Yeah, I get what you're worried about. They'd probably pry into every detail and make things complicated.
Better not to poke the hornet's nest. Let's just ignore it.
You're right. Once we're in Hawaii, none of this drama will matter. I don't care what rumors spread or how much they look down on us.
Though it might be hard to hide the move from family, should we stick to the plan of announcing it at our Hawaii wedding?
Yeah, that sounds good. My parents are pretty laid back about letting me live my own life, so they'll probably find the surprise announcement fun.
My parents are similar, so let's ignore the weird rumors and focus on our preparations. Moving to Hawaii, having our wedding there, we've got lots to do.
Have you started looking at shipping companies for our furniture?
Already got 3 quotes. We can review them together tonight.
Perfect. Let's focus on our future instead of their drama. Amy, are you at the airport? The driver should be there to pick you up.
Why would we be at the airport?
What do you mean? You're supposed to be arriving for the wedding today.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not at the airport.
Amy, where are you? Don't tell me you're lost in Hawaii.
As if we do something so lame. We just didn't get on the flight to Hawaii yesterday. We're still at home.
What? Why didn't you get on the flight? It's our wedding day.
Don't act so surprised. We thought about it carefully.
Thought about what? You RSVP'd, yes, weeks ago.
Because I feel sorry for you, sis. I thought not attending might help you. You'll save some money on the wedding costs if we don't come, right?
Huh?
You should be thanking us for being so considerate.
Considerate? You're skipping my wedding without any notice?
To think that my plain sister and her husband would try to have a Hawaii wedding. Just because you're finally having a wedding doesn't mean you need to show off.
We're not showing off. This is what we wanted for our celebration.
But with Jack's demotion and big pay cut, we thought we'd help you save money where we can.
We're not showing off at all. You're worrying about nothing.
Oh wait, I just figured it out.
Figured what out?
Oh, I get it! You're copying us! Since Tom and I had our wedding in Hawaii too! You must have been so inspired by our gorgeous fancy wedding!
That's not it either. Hawaii just happened to work out for us.
Sure, whatever you say. I know it's embarrassing to admit you're copying your little sister.
You clearly don't believe me at all.
But even with us helping you save on wedding costs, are you really going to be okay? It must be tough for a demoted couple living in the middle of nowhere.
What?
Just trying to help you face reality.
There's nothing to face. You don't know what you're talking about.
Our wedding cost nearly $100,000 total. The famous venue, travel, and accommodation for all the relatives. I could afford it because I have a husband who works at a prestigious company. But it must be hard for you with your incompetent husband.
You really can't stop looking down on us, can you?
Don't be so sensitive. I'm being a caring sister.
This isn't care, it's condescension.
What? I'm genuinely worried. Are you sure you can afford a luxury Hawaii wedding? I heard just renting a famous hotel there for a day cost like $20,000.
We're not renting a venue.
Huh?
We don't need to rent anything. We're having the wedding at the house that we bought in Hawaii, so the wedding costs are actually pretty reasonable.
Your house in Hawaii?
Yes, our house.
Stop joking around!
I didn't realize you were so concerned about us, but there's no need to worry. Though while the wedding costs are low, buying the house was expensive.
Wait a minute, what do you mean you bought a house in Hawaii? You didn't buy it just for the wedding, right?
Of course not. We bought it for our new life together. We're moving to Hawaii.
What?
We're announcing it to everyone after the wedding. It's still a secret from our parents.
What's going on? You guys are supposed to be moving to some remote location because Jack messed up and got demoted. How did that turn into moving to Hawaii?
Well, Hawaii is technically an island too. You could call it remote.
What?
I might as well tell you everything now. That story you heard from Tom's friend was completely false. Jack didn't beg to take back his resignation. He quit for good. Then we decided to move to Hawaii together.
What?
I don't even want to explain why your friend lied. It's too ridiculous. Just ask them yourself.
This has to be some kind of joke.
It's not a joke. You're just upset because your gossip was wrong.
Wait, I can't keep up. So it wasn't a demotion to some remote place, just Jack quitting and suddenly moving to Hawaii? This is all too crazy.
Moving to Hawaii has actually been his dream since childhood, so when he quit, we decided to make that dream come true. Luckily, he made it big with his investment, so we have the funds to live quietly together in Hawaii.
Made it big with investments?
Well, you can ask your friends about those details too. Anyway, the wedding's about to start. I'm going to enjoy our home reception party.
Wait, don't ignore my messages!
I need to go. My perfect Hawaii wedding is starting. You know, the one you chose to skip.
Sarah, pick up your phone! Sarah, this is important. We just got tickets for a flight to Hawaii. Tell me your address. Where should we go when we arrive?
Don't bother coming. Go home. The wedding's over, and there's no need for you to come.
You can't be serious. We're your family.
Family who chose not to attend my wedding.
Even if the wedding's over, the party must still be going on, right? Let us join for just a little while.
How long do you think it takes to get from your nearest airport to Hawaii? Everything will be completely over by the time you arrive.
We can still celebrate when we get there. We're bringing champagne.
The celebration is for people who supported us, not those who mocked us.
But I want to see your house, and Tom wants to hear all the details. We heard everything from his friend. Is it true you made $1 million from investing?
Yes, that's true. That's why we decided to move to Hawaii.
Why didn't you tell us sooner? We're family.
You didn't act like family when you were spreading rumors about us.
I can't believe you and Jack had such amazing foresight. Sarah, please let us come. We'll even bring a proper wedding gift.
We don't want it, and seriously, don't come. After how you both acted, Jack and I have made a decision. We're going to keep our distance from you two for life.
You can't mean that. We've always been close.
Close? You spent years looking down on us.
What? You mean you're cutting ties with us?
We plan to stay in Hawaii and never return to the States. So yes, we're cutting ties. We don't plan to ever see you again.
You're being ridiculous just because you got lucky with some investment?
This isn't about money. It's about respect.
What's with that? How dare you cut ties with us? Don't get so full of yourselves just because you made some money from investing. You're both plain boring and dull. You can't compete with how luxurious my lifestyle is with Tom.
Excuse me?
You'll regret this. Hawaii isn't some paradise.
We're well prepared for the challenges.
Don't get carried away just because you're moving abroad, just because it's Hawaii. I heard moving abroad is super difficult. That $1 million will probably run out quickly and you'll come crawling back to the States.
Well, I can't deny that possibility. The cost of living is quite high here. That's why we plan to keep working even after moving. Actually, right after Jack quit, he got an offer from one of his former clients' CEOs. He's been hired to work fully remote from Hawaii.
Hired to work fully remote from Hawaii?
Apparently, he was their account manager at his previous job and really hit it off with the CEO. They told him, "I've always valued your work and wanted you to join us." It was such a great offer.
Oh!
And actually, it's the same company where Tom works, looking forward to being colleagues, though apparently in different departments.
No way! The same company as Tom? But that's a popular corporation that only hires top talent!
I guess your incompetent brother-in-law isn't so incompetent after all.
But Tom said...
Well, if their CEO personally headhunted him, I guess that means Jack is incredibly talented.
Oh no, Tom just collapsed to his knees next to me. He's muttering, "This can't be happening."
What's with that reaction? Isn't it fine if Jack works at the same company?
There's something you should know.
What now?
Apparently there's more to it. Tom's company actually banned remote work. They recently changed their policy from remote to mandatory office attendance based on performance metrics.
But Jack got full remote permission.
That's the thing! Remote work is only allowed for their most exceptional employees. Tom has applied for remote work multiple times but keeps getting rejected.
So that means Jack is more valued than Tom? Wow, Jack really is amazing.
Can I ask something? How much is the annual salary for this full remote position? Since it was a direct offer from the CEO, I'm guessing it's pretty high.
I only heard rough numbers, but I think it's around $200,000.
That's double what Tom makes!
Oh, really?
How can that plain, boring Jack be such a high achiever?
He's been working hard towards his goal of living abroad since he was young. He built up his track record so he could perform well in any job, anywhere. I'm happy he's being recognized for his efforts. Of course, I've been working hard to keep up with him too. That's why I also found a job that allows remote work.
What? You're both working remotely from Hawaii?
This should help us maintain our lifestyle. We'll work hard to keep enjoying our life abroad.
How did my boring sister get such a perfect life?
Maybe if you'd spent less time looking down on us, you'd have noticed we weren't so boring after all.
That's not fair. Living abroad, living in Hawaii, that's such a glamorous lifestyle. It doesn't suit someone as plain as you are.
What?
It's not fair, not fair, not fair. You're supposed to be plainer than me. Don't live a more glamorous life than me.
If you think it's unfair, why don't you do it too? Aren't you the one who always gets men to buy you whatever you want, whenever you want? Why don't you try the same thing? Ask Tom to move abroad with you.
That's...
I don't care if you look down on us or envy us, but no matter what you say, I'm going to live the life I want with Jack. Since we'll never meet again, you can cry all you want in the States. Take care, Amy. We plain boring couple will work hard together in our own way.
Wait, Sarah, don't block me!
After our parents enjoyed our wedding and new house, they returned home. They apparently kept telling Amy and Tom about how amazing everything was, especially bragging about how the ocean view from the garden was incredible. They told us to visit any time. I'm so proud of my daughter. However, Amy and Tom weren't amused at all. They apparently rushed to invest more than half of their savings, saying, "We'll make profits right away too." But since we haven't heard any boastful messages from them, it seems they haven't been successful.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.